So the journey within Casca's mind continues with Farnese and Shirake actually, in a way, start to relive the eclipse. And as we know, we are traveling down into Casca's deepest memories. And also, these include the ones that are the most traumatic for her. And we actually see Shirake and Farnese go through the eclipse in this chapter in a way probably not as, you know, grotesque, but still at the same time as repulsive, as Shirake actually explains to Farnese that these, you know, images, this imagery within inside Casca's mind could just, you know, overbear the person and actually destroy their psyche just by the grotesque nature of what, you know, they have witnessed. And we have these monsters actually inside Casca's dream actually look a lot like dicks. These monsters have heads and even hands like dicks, okay? So, I don't know, like, I was laughing in this chapter, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know whether Gentaro Miura is just that crazy, or if he is actually trying to prove a point to the reader that he just drew these monsters just to show that Casca has a fear of dicks just due to everything that went down in the eclipse. Because down in the original eclipse, not only did we also see dickish monsters, you know, within that, you know, part of the series, but also at the same time, she was raped by Griffith. So this can either be the latter, but I mean, like, holy shit, this chapter was fucking tripping. One thing that I found was pretty interesting about this chapter was that, as we have seen, you know, these past few chapters of Berserk actually go about with Shirake and Farnese, we actually see that Shirake is using these, you know, sort of items along her journey to aid her, or her own dreams to aid her along in this sort of journey that they are making their way into Casca's inner and deepest, darkest memories. And Farnese actually stumbles across something in this chapter as well. She actually brings one of her own dreams, a dream that to her, I guess, was just as traumatic in a way, that actually led its way into Casca's dreams. She actually ended up, you know, pretty much manifesting Father Mozgus in a way to actually aid in combat to destroy, you know, the dickish-like ghouls, you know, the creatures. And the last bit of this chapter that we get is, finally, we see that Farnese and Shirake have arrived at the last fragmented inner memory of Casca's mind. And what we see, basically, is a representation of what Casca does remember. The events in the eclipse. There are events during the eclipse. She doesn't remember anything after that, okay? But what she does remember during that time was the eclipse itself. And that is what we see as a representation within her mind. We have a pile or a hill of thorns, which I guess, in a way, and while it does represent evil, I guess you can also say that the pile of thorns represent the pile of bodies that were lost during the eclipse, which represents the whole band of the Hawk. And then you have the eclipse itself, and then in the center of all this is a cocoon, which is Casca's last fragmented memory. And the last thing that Shirake says within this chapter of Berserk is that the master of this world seems to not want to be awoken, or to awake this memory. So the overall goal is to figure out on how exactly Shirake and Farnese can actually awake Casca by, you know, unlocking this last piece within her memory. If they can actually somehow awaken this last piece of her memory, she will awake as a person and possibly even regain her memory back. But, as we know, Griffith implanted something within Casca's mind that is preventing her mind from waking up. So this is where the huge obstacle is now going to take place in. Because how exactly is Farnese and Shirake going to do this in general? Because, as we know, the Skull Knight has said, one, that even if Casca's mind is saved and it's regained, all of those memories are going to be floating back into her one by one by one by one, and it's going to be possibly even more traumatic for her, because once she regains her sanity, all those memories are going to be, you know, back there. She's going to remember everything that happened within the eclipse. She's going to remember everything that happened to her child, Gus, just everything in general, and she might even become a more broken person than she is now, which can be even more traumatic for her. So that's why the Skull Knight has stated that, you know, her wish might not be your wish, talking to Guts. So there is that. And if Casca's mind is saved, at the same time, could this also lead to consequences? Because while Casca could get her memories back, which would be good for all of us, but at the same time, we don't know if it will be that good for her to remember all this traumatic, you know, stuff that she has faced before. Will she gain her sanity? Yeah, but will she be the same person? Most likely not. But if she does regain her sanity, it's definitely going to come at a consequence. And something that I feel as though might happen is that if she is to regain her memory, it might lead to involving Shirake or Farnese, or maybe even both of them, being entrapped inside Casca's memories. Because as we know, Berserk is a very dark series, and I think, you know, there has to be at least some sort of repercussions that will ensue if they do, in fact, regain Casca's memories. And the chapter pretty much just ends off with Farnese and Shirake stumbling across the last fragment of Casca's memories. So to see how exactly they crack this one open is definitely going to be a huge challenge for them, and if they do crack it, it's definitely going to come with repercussions, because just on how the series of Berserk is, I know for a fact it's going to be bittersweet, especially when it comes to its ending. It would definitely be a bittersweet ending. So, like, to see how, you know, this sort of arc that we in right now of trying to retrieve Casca's memories, it's definitely going to be bittersweet as well. It's definitely going to have consequences. It's almost kind of like, I know this isn't Fullmetal Alchemist, but it's kind of like the law of equivalent exchange. You know, you do an action, that action will have a consequence. You know, that sort of thing. Everything must be, you know, given in some way, in some sacrifice of equal value, you know. So I'm concerned if maybe if she does regain her memories, will Farnese and Casca remain entrapped in Casca's memories and therefore not able to return to the physical realm. So yeah, that's my thoughts at least. So it looks like Berserk will not continue until winter, and that is a long time from now. So we have a long wait, and I just got caught up with Berserk too, so this kind of sucks that as soon as I make my first manga review of Berserk, automatically going back on hiatus, so that sucks. But hey man, we got another chapter of Berserk, and that's more than I can ask for, and I know a lot of you out there agree. But man, Gentaro Miura, like, holy shit. Like, I don't know what you were trying to make us perceive in this chapter of Berserk when it came down to those monsters. I mean, holy shit, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think, you know, Gentaro was trying to showcase to the readers with those monsters? Was it Casca's fear of penises? Or do you think he is just that insane? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about this chapter and your predictions for, you know, the next chapter to come out. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that red subscribe button down below if you want to stay updated to my future content on this channel and never miss a video from me. And with that said, love you all. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.